Hello, everyone. Here we are for another daily dose of the Worth the Fight podcast. Let's talk about rewiring our brain and nervous system. That's the promise of psychedelia, microdosing and macrodosing. Let's dive in deep here. I'm going to break down the science, how this works. We're going to talk about neuroplasticity. We're going to talk about how the actual rewiring happens. We're going to talk about the supreme importance of sleep for this process as well, and the synergistic integration practices that bring this all together. And again, it's my earnest hope and prayer here with this short daily dose and all the content that I'm putting out there is to invite capital P possibility. So, when it comes to neuroplasticity, it was once thought that when we hit 25 years old, that our brain was fully developed and that there was no more plasticity. And they figured that out many decades ago, that is not the case, and that we can, under the right conditions, rewire our brain and nervous systems from maladaptive settings to more adaptive settings. Again, it's called neuroplasticity, our brain and our nervous system's ability to change to internal and external conditions. When we take a microdose or a macrodose, we have a boost in neuroplasticity. And again, our brain, our prefrontal cortex, and our nervous system is a little bit more plastic. It's a little bit more pliable. It's a little bit more, the ability to shape it and influence it and to change it, as opposed to rigidity, where it's like, it's not going to change. And again, that's kind of the default setting, is that in adults here in the West, that we have this rigidity in our nervous system where it won't change. Children are very plastic, that we're learning and we're growing, we're like sponges. And that plasticity wanes when we hit 25 years old, around that time. And it's going to be a little bit different for each of us. With microdosing, whether we're microdosing psilocybin or LSD, the boost in neuroplasticity, I'm a big believer, it's not the plasticity, but how are we directing that towards an aim? And Dr. Huberman, his words ring in my mind, that again, it's not the neuroplasticity, it's how are we directing them towards a specific aim. The intentionality is supremely important, because if we're just taking a psychedelic and we're not directing it, then that neuroplasticity is going to be neutral. It just means change and learning. And so we're going to adapt to the environment. So let's say if we took a psychedelic and we sat in front of a TV or scary TV, like in theory, we sat in front of a scary TV show, or maybe we turned on the news. If it bleeds, it leads, very polarizing. And that might be maladaptive. We could potentially rewire our brain and nervous system to a setting of fear and dread and existential distress. So again, it's important for us to be very mindful when we're microdosing psilocybin or LSD. We set strong intention. Why are we microdosing? Why are we engaging arguably the most powerful medicine on earth? What are we seeking to co-create? These are all things that are very, very important. And then we create structure amongst our busy day. Maybe we do some journaling in the morning, where we put pen to paper and journal our heartfelt intention of why are we here? What's our work to do today? And to have a place, the journal is really powerful, to have a place for the insights and the ahas to land, and even the uh-ohs, oh no, there's some hard truths that are coming up. That can be a hallmark of the experience, that some heaviness that we ignore that is at the root often comes up from the back burner to the front burner. But I so often hear from my clients that they feel safer engaging that they can struggle better, that they can do the hard thing. So that's something, again, to be mindful of, the supreme importance of intentionality. And again, when it comes to microdosing, there's data to support this. The Beckley Foundation showed that at 5 and 10 and 20 micrograms, I believe, that there were benefits of the LSD, that the neuroplasticity was noticeable in our blood plasma. That's the metric. And I'm sure that as the psychedelic science advances more, there's going to be more sophisticated ways of gleaning these insights. But that's my understanding, that again, they showed that, and they demonstrated that the microdosing can promote neuroplasticity. And I've heard the Dr. Harriet DeWitt, she had talked about and she's at University of Chicago, that as low as 6 micrograms. So there's multiple labs that have worked on this. Dr. James Fadiman wrote a wonderful book, Microdosing for Health, Healing, and Enhanced Performance. So if you want to go a little bit deeper into the science, that's a wonderful resource. So again, intentionality is so important in this process. When we're leaning against our challenges, we're leaning against we're setting bold intention, we're trying to serve our clients, we're trying to honor our commitments, we've got our work to do, and things are coming up aligned with our intention, we're doing the brave inner work. Agitation and strain, as Dr. Huberman says, is an entry point to neuroplasticity. So it doesn't always feel good, but there's a grace that accompanies these medicines, psychedelics, psilocybin. I believe that the spirit of psilocybin, I know this is a little bit woo here for you, that I believe that the spirit of psilocybin is benevolent. It wants us all to be healthy, happy, and strong, and connecting on a deep heart and soul level. And that's been my experience, and I see a level of joy and connection, and it's again the rapid transformation. Again, we know that change here in the West in adults is very uncommon, and I've seen radical shifts, radical changes. So I believe in this medicine. I believe that there's a reason why it's mushrooming in our collective. I'm going to be putting out a share here soon about, there's a recent RAND report that there's 10 million Americans reported microdosing. That's the estimation in 2025, up from 8 million in 2023. So this is mushrooming in our collective. And again, we're leaning against our challenges, our edge, and agitation and strain are part of this process. There's no free lunch here. This is medicine work, and it works so much better when we work it. But the rewiring, the rewiring is triggered during the day, and the actual rewiring is happening while we're sleeping in deep and REM sleep. At least that's my understanding. And when we're in these slow breathing, we're doing the NSDR, probably meditation, probably the Wim Hof method, and these rhythmic breathing patterns, where we can also, where we're down-regulating our nervous system, feeling all of this calm, that it's thought that the rewiring is also happening during those practices as well. So more reason to lean into those practices, to create spaciousness among our frantic pace 2026, connect to our breath. These long, slow exhales are magic. I put a video out that I'll link to NSDR, the cheat code for high performers. I believe that in my heart of hearts to be true, that we need to have a way to regulate and down-regulate our nervous system to create calm and nervous system regulation on demand. And that will be a very powerful tool to deploy as the world picks up and gets even faster than it is. So again, the sleeping, it's paramount that we're getting good deep sleep and REM sleep, and our overall sleep scores are good, and that we have consistency, because the rewiring is happening while we're sleeping. Most of the rewiring is happening while we're sleeping. There's a wondrous opportunity here as psychedelics continue to enter the mainstream. Again, 10 million Americans microdosed in 2025. This is, again, mushrooming in our collective. I've never been more excited for the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible, as I believe all of the madness that we see in our world is a projection of unhealed trauma. And these medicines can help us get to the root. Per Dr. Gabor Mate, liberate the energy of trauma to the energy of life for greater self-love, clarity, and connection, and to create and to prime the conditions for prosperity pathways. If you're a high achiever looking to expand your impact, income, and inner peace, reach out. I've got a call link in the description below. It's 2026. Again, the world is picking up. It's go time. So if this is resonant, please reach out. I'm here to serve, and stay tuned to the next one. So much love to all of you. Love and peace.